What's up, a Cinema Shogun here, and so I've been looking into this Lindsay Shiver case. If you don't know about the case, check out my 2 previous videos on this topic and you can get the full rundown about everything we know so far. But as I was saying in those videos, there's not much official information out there about this case. Don't get me wrong. There are rumors already swirling around, and I'm aware of those rumors, but I try to find out if things are factual or not before I really report on them. Don't get me wrong, we'll get into rumors sometimes, but right now, it's really early in the case, and I'm just trying to figure out what's really going on here. And this case, it's being handled by authorities in the Bahamas. So I think that's another reason why we haven't got much official information about this case. But the husband, Lindsay Shiver's husband, the man that Lindsay was plotting on killing or hiring a hitman to kill, he finally spoke out. And long story short, he is struggling to figure out how he is going to tell their 3 kids that their mom is in jail because she planned on killing their father. Now, I don't have kids yet, but I know that when you have kids, every now and then you have to have a difficult, sometimes awkward conversation. You have to introduce your kids to things like the concept of death. That's got to be a difficult thing to do. And then, of course, when you have to have the talk about the birds and the bees, I know that no father looks forward to that. Or mother, I guess. But I think women have an easier time talking about things like that with their kids. But anyways, imagine having the awkward conversation of, hey, sorry, mommy's not coming home for a while. She's in jail because she was trying to kill me. That's just got to be, I can't imagine. I can't even put into words what that must feel like. But I want to go ahead and hop into this article because there is more information that is slowly coming out. And I don't know, because judging by some of the rumors, there's more to this story. With the official information that is starting to trickle out, along with a lot of the things that I've seen people discussing, I think we're starting to see a clearer picture here. But at the same time, this story is still all over the place, because we have a couple that was starting the process of getting divorced. There appears to be somewhat of a custody battle over the kids. It seems as if Lindsay wanted access to a private jet, maybe a battle over the house. There's a lot of things here. But I'm going to wait before digging too deep into that stuff. For now, let's hear what the husband has to say about all of this. The former Auburn football player, allegedly targeted by his wife in a murder-for-hire plot, broke his silence on Tuesday, revealing that he hasn't had the heart to break it to his kids that their mother is in jail. Robert Shiver, age 38, is back in Thomasville, Georgia, with his 3 kids, who are all under the age of 12. After his estranged wife, Lindsay Shiver, 36, was arrested in the Bahamas last week. The athlete was playing with his 2 young sons in the front yard of his sprawling Thomasville mansion Tuesday afternoon in some of the last few moments of innocence before he has to tell his kids that Bahamian police are accusing their mother of plotting their dad's death. My kids don't know the whole thing yet. I'm going to try to tell them in the next day or so. They're young. Shiver filed for divorce. Robert Shiver filed for divorce on April 5th against his former pageant queen wife after allegedly uncovering an adulterous conduct affair. He is seeking sole custody of their 3 kids, as well as sole use of their $2.5 million Thomasville mansion. Shiver also requested the court dismiss alimony claims, saying that his wife was fully capable of taking care of herself. The day after Robert filed for divorce, Lindsay submitted her response, accusing him of DV, cutting her off from his money, and physical and mental cruel treatment. Wife feels unsafe in the marital home and has installed locks on the interior doors of the home for protection. Husband has hurt the wife in the home in the kids' presence on multiple occasions, not only physically, but also mentally and emotionally, the filing said. His estranged wife has also denied having an extramarital affair with her reported lover, Terrence Bethel, age 28, who was involved in the alleged murder-for-hire plot alongside Farron Newbold, age 29. The Shivers own a house in the Bahamas near where she met her alleged lover Bethel, a source says. Local police stumbled on their alleged plot while investigating another case. Authorities unearthed text messages detailing the scheme while they searched the phone of a suspected burglar at Grabber's Bar and Grill in Great Guanay Cay in the Bahamas earlier this month. It wasn't immediately known whether Shiver, Bethel, or Newbold owned the phone. After their arrest, Lindsay, Shiver, Bethel, and Newbold were transported to the Caribbean country's capital. They appeared in court on Friday, but were not required to enter a plea. The trio is due back in court on October 5th. Now, when I originally started looking into this case, I was trying to figure out what the motive would be. Why would she want to get rid of her husband? I mean, if she wants to run off with some younger dude in the Bahamas, you can do that without killing your husband. And you have to understand here, from everything that, all of the information I've gathered at least, Robert and Lindsay, they both come from extremely wealthy families, okay? Both of their families are well off. They live a very luxurious lifestyle. They live in a $2.5 million mansion. They own a home in the Bahamas, maybe even other homes. I'm not sure. I haven't really tried to dive into all of, the homes that they own, but they fly around on a private jet. They constantly are in another country on vacation. They live a lavish lifestyle. So I was thinking that maybe money isn't necessarily the issue here, because it's not like if they divorce that Lindsay is going to go back to poverty or something like that. Her family's worth buku amounts of money, and I assume they would have no problem looking after Lindsay. Plus, I don't know what Lindsay's got in her bank account and all that nonsense, but now it's starting to seem as if maybe money could have been part of the motive, which it always kind of is, right? But when you're looking at someone that's extremely wealthy, you kind of think, well, hey, and this is not one of those situations where a wealthy man marries a gold digger. This is a situation where a dude marries a woman who, from what I've gathered, don't quote me on this, but it looks like Lindsay's family is even more well off than her husband's side of the family. So it's not like he married into a gold digging situation. He very much married a spoiled, privileged woman who lived a privileged life. So privileged that she thought that she could get away with hiring a hitman to kill her husband because she wanted to run off and, screw younger dudes in the Bahamas. But anyways, so I was thinking that maybe money wouldn't be the motive. But from everything I've seen so far about what they were going through in their divorce, he was saying that, oh, she is well off. I don't want to pay alimony. I don't want to pay none of that. I want my mansion. She's got plenty of money. They got plenty of money. I want my house that I paid for, the private jet, all of that nonsense. Where Lindsay said, hey, I want access to the private jet. It looks like she's trying to get the home. Who knows what else they're trying to get? And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know all of the ins and outs about their finances because I don't. But they were definitely having squabbles over certain possessions. And part of me still believes, even though we now know that maybe money and certain materials definitely were part of the reason why she probably wanted to get rid of Robert, I do believe that she still wanted to maintain a certain image. Because when I'm looking at their divorce filing and stuff, and I'm looking through certain paperwork and I'm looking at information that's already out there, it shows a very different picture than what social media showed. Here she is saying that, she's accusing Robert of DV and all of these other things. Yet when you go on Instagram, she talks about Robert as if, he's the greatest man on earth and she loves him and she loves their life together and all of that good stuff. So she definitely was keeping up a different image on Instagram. And I really feel as if the image that she was keeping up of this picture perfect marriage, this picture perfect Christian family, that does no wrong. We're living this perfect happy life. I don't think that she wanted to let that go. I think that she was willing to literally kill her husband so she doesn't have to face the world, knowing that she ruined their marriage because she wanted to run off with some young dude. She's denying that there was ever an affair with this guy, but we know that there was. And some of the stuff that's floating around out here, there's different information floating around out here. I'm trying to get down to the bottom of what is true or not. In some of her claims, it seems as if she's claiming that there was never an affair. But then in other occasions, it looks like there was confirmation that there was an affair. And there's even claims floating around that maybe Robert was okay with this stuff and things of that nature. There's rumors floating around that Robert was actually kind of okay with her doing other dudes. That was maybe their thing. I don't know. And then maybe things went sour. Maybe he liked that stuff. People are kinky like that. I'm not going to kink shame anyone. If that's what y'all want to do, that's what y'all want to do. And there's also talks that Lindsay was trying to bait Robert into one last trip. Come to the Bahamas. Let's, have this one last night where we we're going to do it for one last time. We're going to have sex one last time. And that's when she planned on killing Robert or having him killed. A lot of information out there floating around. I can't confirm if anything I just said just then is factual or not. But just to give you an idea of what I'm working with here and the different types of information that are floating around. But yeah, I'm still thinking that money and material possessions were not the only thing that influenced her to do this, because I feel as if she still would have had access to a luxurious lifestyle, but I don't think that she wanted to, tarnish her name. I don't think that she wanted the world to know that she was a cheater and that she ruined her marriage and that she ruined this beautiful life that she had. I think she wanted to be the victim in this situation. You see, victimhood status is as good as gold in 2023. Everyone wants to be a victim. And they don't want to be on the other side of that coin, where they're the person that victimized someone else. So for a woman like Lindsay, she knew that if they just got divorced because she was in the Bahamas screwing some 20-something-year-old dude, she knew that her husband would be the victim. People would look at the situation like, look, you had the perfect life. You're living in this mansion, 3 young kids. Your life is basically a vacation. And you threw it all away because you were horny on some island after drinking a few White Claws. I don't think she wanted that on her name. She didn't want her husband to be viewed as the victim in this situation. So, if her husband randomly dies or gets killed, then she could play the broken widow. Oh, woe is me. I'm so heartbroken about my husband. What will I do? We had this beautiful life and someone took it away from us. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And then she could be the victim. She could cry and act like, oh, everything's so terrible for her. And then she would get that victimhood status that was as good as gold. And then she would go off and screw younger dudes in the Bahamas while people acted as if it was empowering for her to do so, because, you know, that's kind of like the movement that's going on right now. People would act like, oh, you got to do this, okay? This is brave. This is so stunning. This is so bold. This is you expressing yourself. Get out there and screw all of those young dudes in the Bahamas. We know your husband just got brutally murdered last week, but you need to let it go. You need to explore the world. You need to fly, girl. Yes, queen, yes. That's the reaction that she thought she was going to get. But instead, she's behind bars now. And because this is happening in the Bahamas and the details around this case are kind of murky, if you will. And as far as I know right now, the only evidence that we know of is that they found a cell phone that was involved in a robbery. We don't even know who the cell phone belongs to. I'm assuming it either belongs to Lindsay, the boyfriend, or the hitman. I don't think Lindsay was out there robbing bars. So I'm assuming either the hitman or the boyfriend robbed a bar, got caught. In the investigation, they searched through the phone and then found the plot. And then they let Robert, the husband, know about the plot. And then I don't know if Robert was in America or if he was in the Bahamas when he found out about the plot. Now I know he's in America. And from the way it sounded in the article, it's as if he just returned. So I'm thinking maybe the police let him know while he was in the Bahamas, coming down there to meet Lindsay for one last hurrah, and he was like, oh, I'm about to take back off. So, I don't know. Still a lot of things to figure out here, but that's what we know so far. Let me know what you think about all of this crazy stuff down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next video.